Regular Batman nuisance and agent of chaos, Joker, gets the dramatic treatment in this new eponymous film. Todd Phillips, director of the Hangover movies, wanted to create a different and more grounded comic book film, and his attempt to do so is manifested in Joker. With the caped crusader conspicuously absent and starring Joaquin Phoenix as the title character, this film leads audiences down the winding path that tells the story of the man who would become the Joker many of us are familiar with today. I'm Ronald Young Jr., and this is Leaving the Theater. Welcome to Leaving the Theater. This is the podcast where I review movies as I'm doing just that. This is the very first episode, and let's get right to it. Here are a few words about Joker. I don't know why I thought seeing a Batman movie with no Batman would be one of my better ideas, but in this case, I was completely right. This movie was just not that good. It wants to be good. It thinks it's good. It has a very strong performance from Joaquin Phoenix. However, other than that, it just falls pretty flat. It's too long. It's very boring in the beginning. It's when it stops being long and boring, it then becomes disturbing. And then after it's done being disturbing, it tries to be grandiose again. And it's just, sitting there watching it, I was like, man, could you just give me some Batman? There's twists in the movie that make absolutely no sense. And I think some would be like, oh, they laid out the plot. I'm like, nah, they did not lay out that plot. This is just them just trying to make something out of nothing. If you think about what we get with the Joker, what we get is, if you watch The Dark Knight, you get this chaos figure that kind of shows up, wreaks havoc, disappears, mystery. No one knows why. And that's the point. Nobody knows why. When you try to figure out why for chaos, it kind of just like ruins whatever the mystique is of the chaos. I'm sitting there and I'm watching this and I'm just like, man, Heath Ledger, maybe he had it easy by not having to worry about a backstory at all. So sitting here watching it, Zazie Beetz is supposed to be kind of the love interest, woefully underused in this movie. I don't want to see a movie that has Zazie Beetz and see her used as little as she is in this movie. You get to the third act of the movie and it picks up a lot, but it just doesn't do what I think I don't know. And then here's the worst part. So then we're watching the movie and somewhere maybe in like the second and a half hour, something like that, these ladies keep yelling at me to get chicken in the food court. I'm not going to do it. But anyway, somewhere around the second and a half, somewhere around after the first hour. The movie's 2 hours and 2 minutes long, which is, for me, an hour and 32 minutes too long. This movie could have been 30 minutes. Call it a short film. I don't know. Anyway, by the time it gets through about maybe the first and a half hour, all of a sudden, with no warning, movie just stops. Projector just stops. It keeps going dim, and then it just stops. Out of nowhere. So everyone's like, oh my God. And everyone's like, oh, we got to rewind it. And I was like, no, please fast forward it. I don't want to watch this anymore. And I could have left, but I knew I actually wanted to get, this is the first episode of Leaving the Theater. So I wanted to be able to get the full episode out and be able to have seen the whole movie. So movie stops. Finally, they get it squared away, get it fixed. We sit there, watch it probably another maybe 10, 15 minutes, movie stops again. At this point, I'm close to leaving. I'm like, this movie is trash. I don't really want to sit here anymore. I don't really want to sit here anymore. And I don't know if they're even going to show us what we came here to actually see. So, start the movie again. Goes into the third act. Like I said, thinks it's grandiose, thinks it's great. It's really not. It's just mostly confusing. There's these weird, stupid plot twists that I didn't like. There's stuff that just doesn't service the character at all. It doesn't even service the plot of Batman. It's just, It's just not good. I give it 2.5 stars of 5, and I would not bring your kids simply because why would you do this to your kids? I mean, it's rated R, so definitely don't bring your kids, but also your kids aren't going to enjoy this. They're trying to make it an Oscar baity film. They're trying to make it an Oscar baity film for like characters that, I mean, if you get, Heath Ledger got an Oscar posthumously for this role, and some would argue he got it because he died. However, everyone would agree that performance he put in was very solid. Joaquin Phoenix's performance was very good. However, it was good in service of a bad movie. So, yeah. Just got back to my car, so it's time for me to go ahead and go. Leaving the Theater is a production of Oh It's Big Ron Studios. Theme music by the mysterious Breakmaster Cylinder. You can get updates about this show and other Oh It's Big Ron Studios shows by following me on Twitter and Instagram at Oh It's Big Ron. That's OhitsBigRon. If you like this podcast, check out our sister podcast, Time Well Spent. Leaving the Theater will be back soon, and I'll see you at the movies.